Hi everyone. Today, me and my friend going to present our case study titled Fire Tube and Water Tube Boiler. My name is Sandiswaran and my friend is Sabitran. Introduction of Fire Tube Boiler. A fire tube boiler is a type of boiler in which hot gases pass from a fire through one or more tubes running through a sealed container of water. The heat of the gases is transferred through the walls of the tubes by thermal conduction, heating the water and ultimately creating steam. The picture is water tube fire tube boiler. Working principle of fire tube boiler. Horizontal return fire tube boiler is more suitable for low capacity thermal power plant. The main constructional features of the boiler are one big size steam drum which lies horizontally upon supporting structures. There are numbers of fire tubes come from furnace and also aligned horizontally inside the drum. When the drum is filled with water, these tubes are submerged in water. The fuels, normally coal, burn in the furnace and combustible gases move into the fire tubes, travel through these tubes from rear to front of the boiler drum, and finally the gases come into the smoke box. The hot gases in the tubes under water transfer heat to the water via the tube's walls. Due to this heat energy steam bubbles are created and come upon the water surface. As the amount of steam is increased in that closed drum, steam pressure inside the drum increase which increase significantly the boiling temperature of the water and hence rate of production of steam is reduced. In this way, a fire tube boiler controls its own pressure. In other words, this is a self-pressure controlled boiler. The first picture is show parts and working of fire tubes boiler. Types of fire tube boiler. First, Cornish boiler. Second, Lancashire boiler. Third, Scotch marine boiler. Fourth, locomotive boiler. Fifth, vertical fire tube boiler. Advantages of fire tubes boiler. First, fire tube boiler is so easy to use, operate, clean and maintain. Second, fire tube boiler can be used in small scale industries. Third, fire tube boiler is relatively cheaper than water tube boiler. Disadvantages of fire tube boiler. From the furnace combustion side, required time to fill water is longer than to increase temperature and pressure. The efficiency of heat transfer is low. In case of bombers, fire tube boiler could be very dangerous. The fire tube boiler cannot produce steam at the pressure higher than 250 pounds per square inch. Capacity of generate steam is limited. Conclusion. Fire tube boilers are widely available in packaged form, allowing smooth relocation and installation. They are also easy to operate, control and maintain. However, they take longer to respond to fluctuation in the pressure demand. Their uses are for space heating and diversity of industrial operations that do not require higher pressure. Now I am pass this to my friend Sabitran.
Water tube boiler. Introduction. A water tube boiler is a steam boiler in which the flow of water in the tubes as well as hot gases encloses the tubes. Not like fire tube boilers. This boiler attains high pressure as well as high steam capabilities can be achieved. This is because of condensed temperature pressure on tubes which is known as hoop stress. The second one, it can be built with boiler shell, burner, burner drum or mud ring, furnace, safety valve, strainer, side glass, feed check valve, steam stop valve. There are many types of water tube boiler. They can be subcategories in three types, which is first one, horizontal straight tube boiler, second one, bent tube boiler, the third one, cyclone fired boiler. Horizontal straight tube boiler again can be subdivided into two different types, such as number first one, longitudinal drum boiler, and the second one is cross drum boiler. Bent tube boiler also can be subdivided into four different types, such as two drum bent tube boiler, three drum bent tube boiler, low head three drum bent tube boiler, and a four drum bent tube boiler. Horizontal or longitudinal or black water tube boiler. This is the working principle of longitude water boiler. Principle of Babcock-Wilcox boiler depends upon Demosibon principle. The longitudinally placed drum, as mentioned in the construction of longitudinally drum boiler, is fed by colder matter as its rear feed water inlet. As the colder water is heavier, it falls down to down corner filtered at the rear part of the drum. From down corner, the water enters into a horizontal water tube where it becomes hot and lighter. As the water becomes lighter, it passes up through these inclined horizontal tubes and ultimately comes back to the boiler drum through riser. During traveling of water to inclined water tubes, it observes heat of the hot gases surrounds the water tube. Consequently, steam bubbles and created in these tubes. These steams bubble then come to the steam drum through riser and naturally separated from water and occupies the space above the water surface in longitudinal drum of Babcock. Cross drum water tube boiler. Working principle of cross drum boiler. The feed water is fed to the cross drum through feed water inlet. The second one, then this water comes down to the down corner pipe and enters into inclined water tube placed in hot chamber. Here, the water becomes hot and steam is produced in the water which comes into the steam chamber. Here in the steam drum, steam is separately from water in natural way. Bent tube boiler or Stirling boiler. Working principle of bent tube or Stirling boiler. The feed water first enters into rightmost upper drum. Due to more density, this water comes down in the lower water drum. The water within that water drum and the connecting pipes to the other two upper drums are heated up and consequently steam bubbles are produced. This is the most basic working principle of bent tube boiler. This is working principle of water tube boiler. It consists of mainly two drums. One is upper drum called steam drum, other is lower drum called mud drum. These drums connected by two tubes, namely down corner and riser tubes. Water in the lower drum is heated and steam is produced. Steam stored above the water surface, the boiler steam. The colder water is fed from feed water inlet at upper drum. The colder water push the hotter water upwards to the riser. Okay, conclusion. Boilers are classified into fire tube or water tube boilers depending on whether the heat source is inside or outside the tubes. The goal in both cases is to maximize the heat transfer between the water and the hot gases heating it. Thank you.